बहार आई है इस वक्ते ख़िज़ां में, लगे हैं फूल मेरे बोस्तां में.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The promised Messiah alayhi salam was a loving and compassionate father. He followed the teachings of his master, the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He cared so much for his children that he once said that there is not a prayer that goes by that I don't think of them and pray for them. This is the topic of our program today, the love the promised Messiah had for his children.
There is a hadith in this regard, a statement of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he says, "Akrimu awladakum wa ahsinu adabahum," which means respect your children and teach them the best of manners. And as you just mentioned, the promised Messiah alayhi salam followed this advice, this teaching in a most beautiful manner. And we see, for instance, how he did not like that parents, punish their children or even beat their children. And there is one example of how he once heard about an elderly person who beat his child. And the promised Messiah alayhi salam delivered a heart-wrenching speech after this. And he said that beating children is akin to shirk, associating partners with God. And he said that it is as if this unfortunate individual is trying to or wants to partner with Allah's attributes of rububiyat, the fact that Allah is Lord and provider, that he's trying to associate with God himself. And he goes on to say that instead of putting efforts into punishing children, parents should try to pray for them, should try to reform them through prayers, right? And so the promised Messiah Islam followed this in his own life as well. And he would not even like to criticize children too much. He would say that we should teach them basic principles, basic morals, principles, and depend on prayers for the rest. And there is an example of this from his own life, with his own children as well. For instance, at one point, Hazrat Sahibzada Mirza Bashir Ahmad Sahib, radiyallahu anhu, came to the mosque, and the Prophet Muhammad was there, and he came to the mosque with some of his friends, and for some reason, he started laughing, right? And the Prophet Muhammad very kindly, very politely said to him, we should not laugh in the mosque. And Sahibzada Mirza Bashir Ahmad Sahib, radiyallahu anhu, could not stop laughing. So he just excused himself and went to another room because he could not. But it shows that the promised Messiah Islam did not take the opportunity to scold him or to punish him in any severe way. Very politely, very kindly, he reformed his own child, and it was such a beautiful way. And we see the example of the promised Messiah Islam where he would take his children for walks. He would carry them on his lap and show love and show so much tolerance for his children, show so much patience when it comes to the reforming or the tarbiyat, the moral upbringing of his children.
Yes, I'd like to add on that the moral training which the promised Messiah ﷺ gave to his children were such that he would narrate moral stories. And these are things that we normally find too. Today, parents, they do that where they try to instill life lessons to their children in these stories, and they tell them at nighttime before going to bed. And one of the first incidents I would like to narrate in this regard was actually by the promised Messiah's son, Hazrat Mirza Bashir Ahmad Sahib, Razila Ta'ala Anhu. So he says that what was the custom of the promised Messiah was that he used to narrate these moral stories where there was an evil guy and a good guy, and then he said that in the course of this story, he would talk about how they would do their business dealings, and then at the end of the story, the righteous person who is doing good things, he would become successful in his tasks, and then the person who was doing evil, he would end up suffering, and having consequences of what he had done. And also is very important, which we learn from the promised Messiah, is that we should also tell the stories of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And there is one incident which was around the time of Muharram. The promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam used to always narrate to his children the very tragic event of the martyrdom of Hazrat Imam Hussein Razila Ta'ala Anhu. And the reason was that he wanted to inculcate love for the family of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his children, and also at the same time, give a history of Islam for his children. So accordingly, there's an incident where one time during Muharram, when he was narrating this tragic event, the promised Messiah, it's mentioned that tears were flowing from his eyes, and then he would wipe them away as he's, narrating this. And when he came almost to the end of the story, he, in great agony, he said that Yazid the accursed, he carried out his atrocities on the grandson of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but soon God punished those oppressors. So this was one of the incidences which he had deep love, and he explained even a very tragic thing to children, but it was a very potent and very meaningful example of the end which would happen to someone who is evil. And the other interesting thing is, and I think it is a good example to follow for parents, is that how you get your children interested in you, in listening to you, is that you should listen to them. And that's exactly what the promised Messiah did. He also listened to the stories that children have. Like, children, they have so many stories. If you sit and ask them something, they'll keep telling you many things. And so it's narrated that he would listen to his children very attentively. And I think that this is one example as well among all of them on how the training of children and care and love and how we could go about doing it.
And another example is when his youngest son got sick. The Prophet ﷺ was so attentive to his care that even the companions mentioned it. They mentioned that he was always looking into what medication he was taking again and caring for him, even though, again, we know how busy he was. This is the love, the care the promised Messiah ﷺ had for all of his children, and how he was an amazing example as a father.
And when it comes to, taking care of his children, despite having a busy schedule, there's another incident or another aspect of the promised Messiah Islam's role model as a father, which is that his son, Hazrat Sahibzada Mirza Bashir Ahmad Sahib radiyallahu anhu, when he was still a child, at one point, he had this phase where he enjoyed having sugar, right? And he would say, Abba Chitti, which means, my father, please give me the white thing or the white stuff. Chitti is actually the word for white, right? And in Urdu, it's called chini, which is the Urdu word for sugar. But sugar is also white, so he would just call it the white thing or the white stuff, right? So he would say, oh my father, give me the white stuff, right? By saying, Abba Chitti. And the promised Messiah ﷺ would respond, even if he was very, very busy writing. We know that the promised Messiah ﷺ wrote so many books. So on some occasions, he would be engrossed in his work on a book, and Sahibzada Mirza Bashir Ahmad Sahib radiyallahu anhu would come and say, Abba Chitti. And the Prophet ﷺ would calmly get up, go to the other room, and bring some sugar for him and give it to him, and would not get upset that his son has bothered him in any way. So it shows, again, as you mentioned, the love, the care, the tolerance the Prophet ﷺ had for his own children.
And the love and tolerance that you mentioned reminds me of a story of Hazrat Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmud Ahmad, may Allah be pleased with him, when he was around 4 years old. The promised Messiah ﷺ was deep in his writing, focused on it. And his son, with a group of other children, walked into the room with a matchstick in his hand. And so they were running around. The promised Messiah ﷺ was deep in his writings. And they lit the matchstick on fire. His son lit the matchstick on fire and lit some paperwork around him. The promised Messiah ﷺ was so engrossed in his work that he was doing that he did not even notice until he went to go and cross-reference another piece of paper, which was burned and was in ashes. The Prophet ﷺ wanted to find out what happened. So he went to the group of children and asked them what happened to the paperwork. Why were they in ashes? And with much hesitation, the children say that it was Mia Mahmud who was the one that lit your papers on fire. And so everybody was watching to see the reaction of the promised Messiah ﷺ. They waited. And with much surprise, the promised Messiah ﷺ smiled and said, this must be a message from God the Almighty that I shall write my thesis on something else. This shows the love, the compassion the promised Messiah ﷺ had for all of his children.
Yeah, I would like to add into this narrations about his compassion and his patience that he had for his children. It's just one very small narration, which is very cute when you hear it. So the narration goes that the promised Messiah used to have the habit that after he enters a room, he would lock the door. And one of the companions was with him, and he's narrating this incident as it happens. And he says that the promised Messiah was busy doing some important work, and he's in the room, and the door is locked in the room, and he's working. And he says that I can hear someone outside knocking on the door and saying, "Father, open the door." And then he says that the promised Messiah, very relaxed way, went and unlocked the door, opened and let him in. So his child came in, it took some rounds and looked around in the room and then left, ran out. And then, so you can imagine that Prophet Messiah habit, he locked the door and he'd get back to his work. And the companion says that I heard someone knocking and saying again, Abu or Father, open the door. So he then again got up and relaxed way and pleasing way, he opened the door, and the child came in, did the same thing. So the companion said that this happened another time, a third time, same thing again. The moral of the story is that Prophet Messiah never said anything to his child that I'm working. Don't you understand the door is locked? Why are you coming in disturbing? You keep coming so many times. And he kept opening the door for him. So it gives us a look on how we should understand the psyche of children and behave with them.
Wow. It's amazing the stories that we told. And it shows the love the promised Messiah ﷺ had for his children. So just to paraphrase a quote from the Prophet ﷺ, he says that we pray and want to have children. But we should also pray that they are close to God the Almighty. So I hope and pray we use these examples with our children. And so that is all we have time for today. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
बहार आई है इस वक्त ख़िज़ां में लगे हैं फूल मेरे बोस्तां में।